I pray, and every American person and realtors and loan officers should be praying for rates to stay the way they are for a little longer. They should. At least another year or two. It needs to stay at this rate. Then maybe we level off at 6. FYI, if unemployment and things don't start moving, you know what Powell's going to do? He has to go up another quarter. He has to go up another quarter until that moves. So there's a bigger crisis that's brewing right now that most people are not talking about. It's called a reverse market crash. That's a scary sight.
In the midst of our daily routines, it's easy to miss the subtle signs of an impending financial storm. But what if the next economic collapse isn't just a distant possibility, but a looming reality that could reshape our generation's future? Patrick Bet-David has highlighted the alarming convergence of factors that could lead to a financial disaster. History shows these crises come in cycles, often when least expected. Think back to the 2008 housing crash. Millions lost homes, jobs, and savings overnight. It was a harsh lesson in how quickly stability can vanish. But have we truly learned? Bet-David cautions that the next collapse could be even more devastating, with consequences far greater than 2008. This isn't just about numbers on a chart, it's about real people facing real challenges, people like you and me. The factors driving this potential collapse are already in motion: record national debt, an overheated housing market, and a dangerously leveraged economy. Bet-David describes a reverse market crash, a crisis that most aren't even talking about. So, what does this mean for you? It means the time to prepare is now, because the impact won't just be felt in the markets, it will touch every aspect of our daily lives. In this video, we'll explain why this collapse is likely, the key warning signs, and how to protect yourself and your loved ones. By the end, you'll understand the brewing storm and the steps to take. Before we get into it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your future could depend on it. Understanding the collapse. History repeats itself. Every few decades, economies around the world experience significant downturns, events that shake the financial foundations of societies and leave lasting scars. But have you ever wondered why these collapses seem to occur so predictably? To understand the next potential economic collapse, we need to take a step back and examine the cyclical nature of financial crises. History is full of examples where exuberance and overconfidence led to disaster. From the infamous tulip mania in 17th century Holland, where the value of tulip bulbs skyrocketed before crashing spectacularly, to the more recent 2008 housing market collapse. In each case, a combination of unchecked speculation, excessive debt, and a sudden loss of confidence triggered the fall. But here's the kicker. These cycles aren't just a thing of the past. The warning signs are here again, and they're more ominous than ever. As we dig deeper into these patterns, we find that they often follow a similar trajectory. Initially, there's a period of economic growth and optimism, leading to higher investments and, unfortunately, greater risk-taking. But as the cycle reaches its peak, the foundations, often built on unsustainable debt, begin to crack. The question we should all be asking ourselves now is, are we at that peak today? And if so, how far are we from the inevitable downturn? Keep this in mind as we explore the factors that are pushing us towards another collapse. The house of cards, debt, and over-leveraging. Picture this, a house of cards, meticulously built but inherently unstable. All it takes is a slight breeze, a small shift in the wind, for the entire structure to come tumbling down. This is a perfect metaphor for our current financial system, which is propped up by unprecedented levels of debt. Over the past decade, global debt has ballooned to staggering proportions, with countries, corporations, and individuals all borrowing beyond their means. In the United States alone, national debt has surpassed $30 trillion, a figure so large it's almost incomprehensible. But what does this mean for you? When debt levels reach such heights, they create a fragile economy, one that can't withstand shocks. Any disruption, be it a sudden rise in interest rates, a geopolitical crisis, or even a natural disaster, could send this house of cards crashing down. For individuals, this could translate into job losses, reduced access to credit, and a sharp decline in living standards. But here's the critical point. It's not just about the debt itself, but about the over-leveraging that magnifies its effects. When corporations and households borrow excessively to invest in assets like real estate or the stock market, they expose themselves to significant risk. If asset prices fall, these borrowers can find themselves underwater, unable to repay their loans, a scenario that could trigger widespread defaults and a financial crisis. But we're not done yet. The true impact of this debt-fueled economy is even more far-reaching, affecting not just financial markets, but the very fabric of our society. The illusion of prosperity, market manipulation, and bubbles. Imagine walking through a carnival funhouse where every mirror shows a distorted version of reality. This is what our financial markets often resemble, an illusion of prosperity, where prices are manipulated and the true risks are hidden from view. In recent years, we've seen central banks around the world pumping trillions of dollars into the economy, propping up markets, and creating what many experts call fake money. This influx of easy money has led to inflated asset prices, from stocks to real estate, creating bubbles that are destined to burst. The most alarming aspect of this is how widespread the manipulation has become. Governments and financial institutions often engage in practices that distort market realities, whether through artificially low interest rates, quantitative easing, or outright intervention in the markets. While this can create short-term stability, it also builds up long-term risks. When these bubbles eventually burst, the fallout can be catastrophic, leading to a cascade of financial failures that can drag entire economies into recession or worse. So, what does this mean for the average person? It means that the wealth you think you have, whether in your home, your retirement account, or your investments, might be far more fragile than you realize. And when the bubble bursts, the illusion of prosperity will be shattered, leaving many scrambling to pick up the pieces. The generation at risk. The lost opportunities. A youth without stability. Imagine graduating from college full of hope and ambition, only to find yourself stepping into an economy on the brink of collapse. For many young people today, this isn't just a hypothetical scenario, it's a looming reality. The millennial and Gen Z generations, already burdened by student debt and rising living costs, now face the prospect of entering the workforce during one of the most uncertain economic periods in recent history. This could mean fewer job opportunities, stagnant wages, and an overall decline in economic mobility. In previous economic downturns, such as the Great Recession of 2008, young people were hit particularly hard. Many were forced to take jobs far below their qualifications, leading to what economists call scarring, a long-term effect where individuals earn less over their lifetimes due to starting their careers during a downturn. But this time, the stakes could be even higher. With automation and globalization already disrupting job markets, the added pressure of an economic collapse could create a generation that struggles to find its footing for years, if not decades. So, what happens when a generation can't catch a break? We may be on the verge of finding out. But the challenges don't stop there. This generation also faces a future where the traditional safety nets, like Social Security and pensions, may no longer be reliable. As we delve deeper into this issue, consider this. How will this lack of stability shape the values, aspirations, and mental health of an entire generation? The American dream deferred. homeownership and financial security. For decades, homeownership has been a cornerstone of the American dream, a symbol of financial stability and success. But what happens when that dream becomes increasingly out of reach? Rising real estate prices, coupled with stagnant wages, have already made it difficult for young people to buy homes. Now, with the potential for a market crash on the horizon, those who have managed to scrape together enough for a down payment may find themselves in an even more precarious position. Remember the housing bubble of 2008? When it burst, millions of homeowners found themselves underwater, owing more on their mortgages than their homes were worth. Many were forced into foreclosure, losing not just their homes, but their financial security as well. The risk of this happening again is very real, especially for younger generations who are more likely to be first-time buyers, often with little equity in their homes. If the market collapses, they could be left with crushing debt and no way out. But the impact goes beyond just financial loss. Homeownership has long been tied to social and economic status in America. It's seen as a key step towards building wealth and establishing a stable family life. If this pathway is blocked, what alternatives are left? This could lead to a significant shift in how younger generations view success and stability, potentially redefining the American dream itself. So, if homeownership is no longer a viable goal, what does that mean for the future of our society? Let's explore the broader implications in the next section. Mental health and resilience, coping with uncertainty. It's one thing to face financial challenges, but it's another to cope with the psychological toll they bring. Economic instability doesn't just affect bank accounts, it affects minds and spirits too. With rising levels of anxiety, depression, and uncertainty, how will this generation manage the mental health crisis that accompanies financial instability? During the Great Depression, the psychological impact of economic hardship led to a generation scarred by fear and conservatism in financial matters. Today's younger generations, already navigating a world of social media pressures, climate anxiety, and now financial instability, could find themselves overwhelmed. The constant barrage of bad news, coupled with personal financial struggles, could lead to widespread burnout, a sense of hopelessness, and a decline in mental health that might be hard to recover from. However, there is a silver lining. History has shown that adversity can also breed resilience. The generation that lived through the Great Depression went on to build a more cautious and savings-focused society. Similarly, today's young people might develop new ways to cope, adapt, and even thrive in the face of economic uncertainty. The question is, how will they do it? What lessons will they learn, and how will they reshape their futures in response to these challenges? This leads us to consider the broader societal impacts and the potential for change, which we will delve into in the next part of our discussion. How to prepare. The power of cash reserves. Imagine navigating a stormy sea without a life jacket. In many ways, facing an economic collapse without a financial safety net is just as perilous. One of the most critical steps you can take to protect yourself in uncertain times is to build and maintain a strong cash reserve. Cash is king in a crisis because it provides flexibility and security when other assets, like stocks or real estate, may be losing value rapidly. Remember the 2008 financial crisis? Those who had cash on hand were able to buy assets at deep discounts, while others watched their portfolios crumble. So, how much should you have saved? Financial experts often recommend having at least 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses in a readily accessible account, but in the face of a potential collapse, more might be necessary. Think of this reserve as your financial life jacket, a crucial buffer that can help you weather the storm, whether it's an unexpected job loss, a sudden medical emergency, or a sharp downturn in the market. But building a cash reserve isn't just about saving, it's about discipline and consistency. How can you start today? Set up automatic transfers to a savings account and cut unnecessary expenses. Every dollar saved now is a step toward securing your future. Diversify your investments. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. We've all heard the old adage, don't put all your eggs in one basket. And when it comes to your financial future, it couldn't be more true. Diversification is a strategy that can protect your investments from the volatility of a collapsing market. But what does it really mean to diversify? Simply put, it's about spreading your investments across different asset classes, stocks, bonds, real estate, precious metals, and even cash, so that a loss in one area doesn't wipe out your entire portfolio. Consider the 2008 financial crisis again. Investors who were heavily invested in real estate or financial stocks saw massive losses, while those who had diversified into bonds, gold, or other less volatile assets were able to cushion the blow. But diversification isn't just about choosing different types of investments, it's also about considering global diversification. Investing in international markets can provide additional protection, as different economies often experience downturns at different times. Here's a practical tip. Review your current portfolio. Are you overexposed in any one area? If so, it might be time to reallocate your assets. This doesn't mean abandoning stocks or real estate entirely, but rather ensuring that you're not overly reliant on any single investment type. After all, in a world as interconnected as ours, a well-diversified portfolio is your best defense against the unexpected. But diversification is only one aspect of preparing for an economic downturn. Protect your income, the value of becoming irreplaceable. Imagine a workplace where layoffs are announced and you're left wondering if your name is on the list. In an economic collapse, job security becomes a major concern, and protecting your income is paramount. But how do you do that? The answer lies in making yourself irreplaceable. In times of crisis, companies often trim their workforce, keeping only those employees who are critical to their operations. This means that the more skills you have, the more value you bring to your employer, the better your chances of staying employed during tough times. Think about it. What are the skills that make you indispensable? Is there an area where you can specialize, or perhaps a new technology or trend you can master? Upskilling, whether through online courses, certifications, or hands-on experience, can significantly increase your market value. Additionally, building a strong professional network can open up new opportunities, even if your current job is at risk. Networking isn't just about landing your next job, it's about being connected to the right people who can help you navigate through a downturn. So, take a moment to evaluate your current position. Are you doing everything you can to make yourself indispensable? If not, now is the time to start. But even with a secure job and a strong skill set, there's more you can do to prepare. Create a comprehensive financial plan, the roadmap to stability. Imagine trying to navigate a complex maze without a map. This is what it's like to face an economic collapse without a comprehensive financial plan. A well-thought-out plan doesn't just include your cash reserves or your investment portfolio. It encompasses your entire financial life, from debt management to insurance coverage to estate planning. The goal is to create a roadmap that guides you through the complexities of an economic downturn, ensuring that all aspects of your financial life are aligned and working together. Start by assessing your current financial situation. Do you have high-interest debt that could become unmanageable if your income drops? Are you adequately insured against unexpected events? What about your retirement plan? Are you on track, or do you need to make adjustments? These are all questions that a comprehensive financial plan should address. And if you're not sure where to start, consider consulting with a financial advisor who can help you develop a plan tailored to your specific needs and goals. But remember, a plan is only as good as its execution. Regularly review and update your financial plan to ensure it remains relevant in changing economic conditions. As we conclude, it's vital to consider the lessons history has taught us. From the Great Depression to the 2008 financial crisis, economies have repeatedly crumbled due to overconfidence, overleveraging, and lack of preparation. The question now is whether we've truly learned from these past mistakes or if we're at risk of repeating them. The strategies we've discussed, building a cash reserve, diversifying investments, and safeguarding your income, aren't just suggestions. They're critical actions that could make the difference between surviving the storm or being swept away. The time to act is now, before the full impact of the next collapse hits. In uncertain times, it's easy to feel powerless, but each of us plays a crucial role in shaping our future. The choices you make today can significantly impact not only your life, but also the lives of those around you. Whether it's securing your finances, acquiring new skills, or spreading awareness, every small step contributes to a more stable tomorrow. While the potential collapse is daunting, it also offers an opportunity to reset, build resilience, and emerge stronger. Stay informed, stay proactive, and take action today to navigate whatever challenges lie ahead. And remember, if you found this content valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on more ways to protect and grow your wealth in these uncertain times.